Hi everyone, my name is Miss Polly. I'm the kindergarten grade level chair, and this is the back to school night for scholars who are staying 100% remote, kindergarten through fourth grade. Before I jump into anything else, I just want to express gratitude to all of our LSP families. This has been a very unpredictable and challenging school year in many ways, and we could not have done this year without you. So I just want to start by expressing my gratitude on behalf of the LSP teachers and LSP community. We could not have done this year without you. And again, we are just nothing but grateful. We have two major objectives for this back to school night. The first is that you learn about the adjusted remote school model and how to support your scholar with that, and then also learn about any additional resources to support you and your family as well. Before I go into anything else, there's a quick housekeeping item for next week. So for next week, our teachers are going to be in the school building for professional development, and they'll be getting the building set up as scholars start to arrive that following week. Because of that, next week instruction is going to be all asynchronous work. So students will still come on for their breakfast and community building, and then from there, they'll have assigned asynchronous work that they can complete independently. In order to be marked present for the day, they do need to complete that work by 1 p.m. So again, they'll still log on from 8:45 to 9:30 for their breakfast, for their community building, and then from there, they'll be released to do their asynchronous work independently. If you have any questions around that, feel free to reach out to your scholars teacher as well. Okay, so I also want to go over our main office staff. You may have already been talking to these people throughout the year, but we have Miss D and Miss Figueroa. These are two people that you definitely want to save their numbers. Miss D is our school operations manager, and Miss Figueroa is our LSP receptionist. So if you have any questions around attendance related things, enrollment, these are definitely the people to go to. Okay, so the next part of this, I'm going to really jump into the new virtual learning schedule. A big thing to note is that this new virtual schedule will go into effect on Monday, April 26. So this is a schedule for Monday through Thursday. Your scholar will have a schedule posted on their Google Classroom, which I'll go over a little bit later, but this is the general schedule. So it's the same exact time of the school day, it's just spaced out differently. So from 8:30 to 9:05, they'll have their morning meeting and their SEL block, their social emotional learning. Then from 9:05 to 2 o'clock, that's when they'll have all their instruction. So this looks a little different in every grade, but it'll be math, it'll be reading, writing, they'll solve their specials, they'll have time for iReady and RAS completion, and there's also office hours worked in there. So again, it won't be 9:05 to 2 o'clock straight, they'll still have breaks worked in there, but that will be covered during that time span. The two major break times to note are there are lunch and recess break time that scholars can have at home, whatever that might look like if it's like lunch and playtime. But for kinder and first grade, that'll be from 10:30 to 11:25. They have their break in the middle of the day. And then for second, third, and fourth grade, it'll be 11:05 to 12. For Haverford and Scranton specifically, that'll also be 11:05 to 12 as well. And then 2 o'clock is when we close out the day. So again, when you see your scholar's full schedule, you'll actually see the breakdown of each subject, but this is just the general guidelines that it's going to be from 8:30, they get on at 8:30 and they're done at 2. Again, this is still the same time that they've actually been on. It just looks different because office hours is just chunked differently throughout the day. That's for Monday through Thursday, I'm sorry. For our Friday schedule, they'll come on from 8:30 to 9 for their breakfast, their morning meeting, and their SEL block. Then from 9 to 10:30, we'll still have our assessment block in there. Then from 10:30 to 11, scholars will have a break. They can eat lunch, just take a break. And then from 11 to 12:30, that's when we'll have our office hours. So it'll be intervention hours. It could be reteach. It could also be iReady and RAS makeup time too. So again, the general guidelines for Friday is that they should expect it to be on from 8:30 to 12:30. It just may look different depending on what office hours look like in each classroom. Okay, so just to highlight the things that are different for K through 2, ELA and math is going to be whole group, and then guided reading is actually being in much smaller groups. So that is different from our current schedule. Another thing is that math intervention is going to be its own block. Super excited about this. This is going to allow us to give scholars more targeted instruction on their level. So this will be much smaller groups of students focusing in on math, meeting them at their level. Another change for K through 2 is that there's built-in time to do the RAS and iReady work. A lot of times right now, it's just asynchronous, complete it homework end of the day whenever you can get it done, but now there's going to be a set time that scholars can go in and independently complete that. So that's K through 2. For 3, 4, the major difference is that math intervention block. So again, it'll be their own, it's its own separate block where scholars will really get targeted instruction. Another thing to highlight that is also different, K through 4, the reason we ended up adjusting the schedule as well is, one, we can get more instruction in during this model and split up breaks differently, but also we matched our remote schedule to students that are actually in the building too. This is going to help us in case there's coverages with teachers, and if we need to move around from hybrid to virtual, it'll just be much easier to keep everyone on the same schedule. So this schedule is actually the same as scholars that are in the building every day too. So they get the same amount of instruction time too, which is great. Okay, so another thing is you'll have your Google Classroom page. You'll be able to find your schedule just like you did in the beginning of the year on your Google Classroom page. So you may be invited to a new Google Classroom, you'll accept it, and then you'll be able to find your schedule on there. So you'll really see the breakdown of each block. The getting to your schedule in live class will be the same as normal. You'll still have a schedule posted on there. You'll be able to click into the schedule, it'll take you right to that Zoom room that you need to go to as well. So really nothing new here. Another just reminder around supporting your scholar, making sure they're set up. Please accept the new Google Classroom invite. That'll definitely make for a smooth first day on that Monday. And also just make sure your scholar is charging their iPad or computer every night. This is a long chunk of school day, so they will need that charge the whole day. So just make sure they're in the routine of making sure that's charged every night. And another thing is just make sure your scholar's signed and logged in, joining their Zoom class for breakfast, and then they're set for the rest of the day. And again, we thank you for your support. We know you guys have been doing this all year long, and we really thank you for that. Another thing is, if you haven't already, feel free to download the Google Classroom app to your phone. It's a great way that you can also keep up with your scholars' work. If you're not necessarily with them, if you're at work, you can also check in and see that on your phone as well, which is pretty cool. The last thing I'm going to go over is just some resources and some next steps. And some of this will be familiar to you, some of this will be new updates. So the first thing is, I think a lot of you know this, we have a Cooper Health Clinic, so we have a doctor's office in our school. Your scholar can be seen there. They can schedule physicals, immunizations, and it's great because it's right in our school building. So we do have a number down here. I'll pause for a second so you can feel free to type in that number at the bottom. And again, it's open to all KIPP and Head Start students and to their siblings as well. So our tech support hours are going to change a little bit, which I'll go over in a second. But again, if your scholar's ever having trouble with their tech, whether it's a computer issue, iPad, or logging in, a charger issue, that's where you'll want to put in a tech ticket and get some tech support there. You can either log on to LSP resources to do a tech ticket, or we have a hotline you can call there as well. So for our tech hours, so right now, they've been now through April 23rd. They're going to be Monday, Thursday, 3:30 to 5:30. And then our Tuesday, Wednesday, Fridays, 11:30 to 1. Now the tech hours are going to change when our school building reopens. So starting on April 26th, when we fully reopen, it's going to be on the Broadway doors across from the corner store still. However, the hours are going to be Monday through Thursday, 11:30 to 12:30, and then Wednesday from 3:30 to 5:30. So again, down here, these are going to be our new ones. So I'm going to pause for a second. So if you guys want to take note of that, again, our new in-person tech hours is Monday through Thursday, 11:30 to 12:30, and then Wednesday, 3:30 to 5:30. So anything you really need, if you need to change in something, that's where you can go to on the Broadway doors and exchange during that time. Another thing is, please follow us on social media. We post a lot of updates on there as well. So again, follow us. We have our Instagram, we have our Facebook, we also have a website. We do post a lot of updates throughout, so you can also see what's going on in the school building and remotely as well. If there are schedule changes, so this is the back to school night for scholars that are 100% remote. However, if there are schedule changes and if you're interested in changing from hybrid, if you're interested in changing, we can't really accommodate a ton of changes right now. However, you can feel free to reach out, contact our main office. That's Miss D and Miss Figueroa, who I talked about before. But right now, all classes are full. But again, feel free to contact them as well. Another thing I want to go over, even though your scholar is staying 100% remote, if someone in your family or a scholar tests positive, you can let our main office know, and we would be happy to find resources as well that you may need, or try to troubleshoot with you if you're having a hard time getting your scholar on for that reason. So again, even though your scholar is at home, not coming into the school building, if there is a positive case, we would love if you let us know, because we definitely want to support you during this time as well, and making sure that you and your family are okay. I thank you guys. I know that was a lot. And again, thank you so much for listening in on this. If you have questions, you will be hearing from your scholars teacher. So please reach out to your scholars teacher if you have any additional questions. But again, we thank you, and we are really excited for these changes. All right, have a great day.